How's it going, everybody? It's Man Tomorrow here. I want to welcome you guys into the new year. This is the year that we march these people into the Gulf of Mexico. I don't care where you're located. I think the Gulf of Mexico is a prime location to march these people into. So, what you have to do is you have to be able to discuss their actual ideas that they stand behind. You don't have to attack anybody personally. I don't care about anybody's wives or anybody's kids. However, your ideas that you discuss is something that we actually talk about. And I think that we should ring off the new year right by actually talking about my experience with street dudes and reform street dudes because we have this idea that anybody can come on and cosplay as an actual street dude only. And I mean, only to kind of brag on the simple fact that they got access to women because of this. I don't think that's the case, and that's not my experience with these actual people. It's never been my actual experience with these people at all. Let's go from when I was in middle school. Me, joined a gang from the particular area of town that I was in, but I was more dedicated to getting rid of the problems than most people were. That's when I realized that the people who are actually in this street shit, they were in it for economics or they were in it to cover for the fact that they was trying to sleep with women in other areas of town and they would have the whole hood on fire because they went over there and got their ass whooped for no other reason than taking their ass over there and trying to sleep with women that they shouldn't even be with or even have access to. And like most of the real street dudes, like if I go back home right now, and there's three of them that live in the old community of where I grew up at. I think there is one person within the manosphere who lived at least 3 blocks from where I lived at. I have not seen this dude around here for a while, but he knows exactly who the fuck I am and exactly where the fuck I stayed. I think there's only one person that I've ever met that is exactly from the area that I'm from and exactly on the side of town that I'm from. And if I bring up any of these names, people be like, oh, okay, I know who that is. I know who that is. I know who that is. You guys have got to recognize, like, when you actually dealing with the actual reform dude versus the fakers, because there's a lot of fakers. There's too many fakers out there. God, there's too many fakers out there. And I'm not talking about the real versus the fake, so that way you can hate one group or another, so that way you can be able to distinguish one group of people from the other. Because there's a lot of cosplay motherfuckers out here. A lot of them. What's going on, Evo? So thank for the phone. And I super chat was on MLT, made the events of the new year turn this $5 into 5 million. Stay safe and stay blessed. Yes, sir. I'm always gonna do that. So let's talk about what's going on, Queens of Virtue. What's going on? Let's talk about the real versus the fake street dudes. Damn, I want to use these people's names so bad because they've been retired for a while. And when I was in law enforcement, I went up to these motherfuckers and I told these motherfuckers, I know the only way that you can stay alive or stay in this system for this period of time is that you snitching on motherfuckers. Like, you gotta understand, I'm from the Mississippi Delta. So any person who goes to jail on that fucking selling dope shit, the other people just move up. But the people who was at the top of that shit, they never went to jail. They never went to prison. They never served no time. They never did anything else. Why? The motherfuckers was snitches the entire time. Unless they baby mama or some woman that they screwed over actually set them up to actually expose their whole group. That's what the shit was about. That's what the shit was clearly about. So like when you meet some of these reform street dudes, I'm sorry, they're gonna sound like George Macon. They're gonna sound like Ramil. They're gonna sound like people that you know you can fuck with on some level, but at the end of the day, they're gonna have to talk to their own people on some other level. Like the street dudes never tried to hold pussy over your head as an accomplishment that you should actually strive for. Like I can name any motherfucker in my fucking neighborhood. Them motherfuckers knew that if that's his girl, or that's a girl that he been with, you would be out of your fucking mind to shoot your shot at her. Bro, you would get the brakes beat off of your motherfucking ass in less than 24 hours. That was the utmost level of disrespect. You're trying to holler at some dude's girl, especially some dude who sold dope in the community, some dude who ran guns in the community, or any of that shit. So this high school cosplay of street dudes coming on here trying to cape for women that don't even acknowledge them, like, bro, that there wasn't no shit that street dudes were on. Street dudes was on some selfish ass shit for their own benefit, and they did not give a fuck about nobody. At the time, they didn't give a fuck about nobody, and they'll tell you straight up about it. If you ask them about it, if you get near them, they'll be able to tell you. I mean, look, I was out here having fun. I was out here having the time of my life. At the time of my life, at the expense of other people, and that's what the fuck I was doing. How do we fix this shit? I go to them, like, look, we're trying to do this right here, and I need you to talk to these people about having their actual kids show up. Because the people in those communities, they still respected the fuck out of those dudes, even though they was on some bullshit for a whole period of time. Like, these dudes have PTSD like a motherfucker. Like, these people don't really come out of their house like that. They don't interact with people like that. They may stop through for a barbecue or two, but you have to pry these motherfuckers out of their fucking house. I'm talking about actual street motherfuckers. We're not talking about these cosplay motherfuckers who's trying to build a whole platform based off of their old association within the community, like motherfuckers who get out of prison and all this dumbass shit, who's trying to fucking make people respect the fact that they went to prison over some shit that they probably shouldn't have went for. Like, dude, it wasn't like that. Like, dude, like the real motherfuckers who actually did that shit, they are humble than a motherfucker about it. So, like, there was a street dude who lived in our motherfucking neighborhood who broke into our motherfucking house when we lived on the north end. When we lived on the north end, this motherfucker used to routinely break into our motherfucking house. Routinely. Come in and steal everything in the motherfucking house. He used to live across the street from us when we was on the north end. And I remember when his mother, when he finally motherfucking got it, like got it after the fucking street shit, man, I was proud of that dude. Like, dude, we're talking about 30 and 40 bucks. But at the end of the fucking day, nobody wanted to kill this motherfucker back then. And I was sitting there at his motherfucking funeral when he had that motorcycle accident. I'm like, yeah, man. The dude turned around. He turned around. He apologized for all that shit as much as he possibly fucking could, because I wasn't trying to hear that shit. I was on some let's fix this community shit. You have to tell these motherfuckers that you are the bad guy. You have to take your ass out there and do that. And I'm gonna be standing right beside you while you make sure these kids don't fucking turn into you. because his sister grew up in like in my class. So she was a decent human being, but the older motherfuckers were just fucked up, beyond fucked up, because they grew up in fucked up situations. So they decided to take it out on the rest of the community. I understand that shit. But when it came for them dudes to actually reform and do this shit, it was way different. It wasn't no YouTube shit. In fact, before one of these motherfuckers had died, I showed this motherfucker about what his lifestyle was being portrayed like online. Yeah, man, that dude wanted to look this motherfucker up and kill him. He did not know, he did not understand that these motherfucking fake ass wannabe street niggas was out here capping, high capping on some shit that he used to do for a living. And his life didn't turn out very good because of the shit that he fucking did. He had kids that he shouldn't have had, raised in environments that they shouldn't have been fucking raised in. This dude was like, this was a life. I wish I could take all that shit back. But at the end of the fucking day, you got fake ass motherfuckers out here trying to cosplay some shit that they don't even know about. Trying to cosplay on that shit. I'm like, bro, this is some whole stolen valor shit. Stolen valor is when you have like some civilian motherfuckers show up to like some military function wearing all type of badges and ribbons and shit that they know that they didn't earn in time periods that they know that they didn't serve in and the motherfucking Pentagon point the motherfuckers out. That's when they start publicizing where people actually fucking served at and shit. Because this shit was so out of hand in the Bush administration, they had to make an exception. The Pentagon had to make an exception because they never talked about the shit before. To actually like, look, this is the actual basis that this person was at. No, this person's also fucking bullshit. That's the same stolen valor shit that is happening between these people here. You have to understand that most of these people inside of this fucking environment do not have a level of independence of thought. They can only try to take somebody else's movement, try to spin it into something else, try to sell shirts and t-shirts and all this goofy shit over movements that they don't know shit about, only to try to put themselves on in a specific situation. Like you can type in passport bros right now in the fucking internet. You can see motherfuckers with 100,000 views, 230 some thousand views. We've not seen these motherfuckers anywhere. You haven't seen them on Austin Holloman's channel. You haven't seen them on Black Man Travels channel. You don't see them on the Passport Bros official podcast. You don't see them on my shit. You don't see them on anybody who's been building this movie for 6 fucking years. You don't fucking see it. And it's like, it's the same shit with street dude shit. They want to take the actual background of people that they don't even know. They want to put on 90s flavored fucking gear and fucking claim that there's some universal representation of the fucking streets. That shit is fucking insane to me. I would be scared as fuck to walk outside of my motherfucking house acting like I'm the universal avatar of the fucking streets without taking no fucking sides. Yeah, like most of these reform street motherfuckers want to see good outcomes. They don't want to be out there. They're uncomfortable with a motherfucking being out there. They know the crimes that they committed against the goddamn community. And this is how come they don't leave their motherfucking house. They know how many motherfuckers they had to send up the river. They know how many people that they had to snitch on. And they had to snitch on a lot of motherfucking people. That's the only way they can stay out for an actual extended period of time. Hey, Bird, thanks for the $20 super chat. Good topic. Especially in NYC, most dudes play street are soft these days. Most real G's are dead, locked up, went legit, humble, or quiet. Yahoo did an article on Passport Bros. Yeah, as they should. What's going on? I'll check it for you. This is why this shit is vitally important that we clean up our motherfucking act. Because you do not want the world to look at you like you are a fucking victim of shit that you should have been passed a long time ago. You don't want people out here in they fucking 50 still acting like they hood and they street and they haven't produced shit with their fucking life but a whole bunch of MAGA music. They haven't led to a motherfucking thing. Yeah, it topped the motherfucking charts, but the outcome of these motherfucking communities based off the people that you was actually getting this shit out of, like those people didn't get anything out of that. What's going on, Psych? So, come on, man. But that's what I'm saying. Like these street motherfuckers online is not the street motherfucker that you see in your community. The street people who are leveraging broken culture in order for their own self to be on, that's some bullshit, bro. That's some bullshit like a motherfucker. Like it's not hard for me to call up my uncle in fucking Chicago. I'm like, man, who the fuck is this dude? Could you find out who the fuck this dude is? Boom. 5 minutes later, this dude here, this is their parents, this is their shit. This dude on some fucking bullshit. You want me to split this dude head open? No. But I want to know the fucking truth about this motherfucker before we move forward. Anytime you need that motherfucker done up, cuz I got you. Like, nah, man, I just want to know who these motherfuckers are. When they're claiming that they from Chicago or they from St. Louis or they from Memphis. Motherfucker, I got motherfuckers in that city. Those cities, like a motherfucker. I know I could find your motherfucking ass in a heartbeat. Especially when you dumb enough to put your motherfucking face out there, bro. There's all people, kinds of people who see that shit about what the fuck you doing out there. Hey, bro, some clowns around my way in Brooklyn, the street dudes act like I'm beneath them, but giving me dirty looks, even goofies, and yeah, that's what it is. It's too easy. And I'm telling you, you try me, I'm gonna play dirty like a motherfucker. I'm gonna have your ass Andrew Tated the fuck up out of here. I'm gonna make your ass feel pain that you never fucking felt in your motherfucking life. And every time your ass wake the fuck up, you gonna know that I put your ass there. I'm not above playing dope on niggas. I'm not above putting fake rape charges on niggas. I'm not above any of that fucking shit. I'm gonna fucking win this fucking battle if you fucking try me. Why the fuck you think I gained all this information not to fucking use it on niggas? Are you fucking crazy? I can't wait to use it on dumbass niggas. I can't wait to do it. But at the end of the motherfucking day, you have to understand that the motherfuckers who we've been not trying to be like in life was the exact sort of people that we should have been like in life in the first beginning. If we gonna fix this shit, because I don't think that this shit can easily be fixed. It's going to take a united front of men getting their motherfucking economics in order to fix this shit. I don't think better behavior by women is going to fix that. I really think that economics is the fucking key to freedom. I've always said that. What's going on, TJ? But at the end of the day, this is not some shit that you should be looking up to going forward. Think about how many people in society that you have to go through and this churn rate of failed black culture that you have to go through to get to a Neil deGrasse Tyson at his age, to get to a Robert F. Smith at his age, to get to Most individuals who accomplish shit from fucked up ass environments like the southern part of the United States, like I am, at their age. This shit is a fucking lie. It's a troll on motherfuckers who come out here and do what the fuck they supposed to do. Like my grandfather had no problem burning houses to the fucking ground with motherfuckers who did not deserve to be a part of that community. He had no problem and rather look forward to it. He had no problem kicking people out of the family, making them change their fucking last name to some other shit, and getting them the fuck up out of there because the failure rate was too high. Like a lot of people didn't understand the responsibility of freedom. They took freedom as an actual excuse to fail on some bullshit when it should have been better than that. Like, bro, don't you know that you will have a higher level of self fucking esteem if you can come out here and challenge people in their own motherfucking system and still win? Like, we kind of forgot about the Thurgood Marshalls and the Martin Luther Kings and the Malcolm X's and shit. These motherfuckers did shit within their motherfucking life to challenge power. A lot of these motherfuckers are trying to feed you into a broken system. That's the opposite of power. That's always been the opposite of power. Feeding yourself into a bullshit system, that's always been the opposite of power, sir. Restricting yourself to dumbass motherfuckers and not really getting the maximum effectiveness out of the things that you're doing, that's your fault as a person. That's not the community's fault. You know, most of the community is based off of male usury. You know that by now. So why on earth would you team yourself up with a whole bunch of individuals who don't have the training or the background in the fields that they're in, and you're supposed to leverage this shit to actually have a level of success with it? At some point, it's on you. It's not street dudes who's supposed to be better people. Them dudes trying to reconcile any way that they fucking can, but you are on the ground floor of fixing your own fucking life. What those people did in the past, you're not going to be given a better future that you don't have to waste less time engaging in. Right now, you're going to have to engage far more than the previous generations. The previous generations had chances to be engaged and involved in this shit and provide you a better fucking future. They didn't do that shit. They waited on somebody else to do it for them. So now you need to stop complaining about boomers, my generation, Generation X. Most of us are fuck niggas too. Most of them. Millennials raised by these bitch ass niggas and these whack ass hoes. And this is why most of these motherfuckers cannot let go of the goddamn father figure of the goddamn successful street nigga. Like, bro, you gotta understand that most of this shit did not fucking work. They wanted to do this shit. They wanted to prove how much they can tank the fucking community to try to get the rest of the world to give a fuck about our problems so that way they didn't have to get on the ground floor and fix the shit they sell. I'm no longer concerned about the outcome of black boys. I know the group of motherfuckers who created these goddamn boys with those women. I don't even go around being worried about that shit. What you do is you give them the fucking answers to the goddamn questions and you move the fuck on with your goddamn life. That's the only thing that you can do. What's going on, Donald B? What's going on, Stay Woke? But at the end of the day, this is where you are. Do we really have to run our entire culture through the fucking redemption arc before you notice that, hey man, look, I'm just gonna leave this shit the fuck alone because nobody succeeded at this shit? What's wrong with that? Most of these fucking real street motherfuckers Like when you go visit them motherfuckers in prison, like when these motherfuckers got a life motherfucking sentence without the possibility of fucking parole, why do you think they send kids to these scared straight motherfucking programs? Like when they send these kids to fucking Parchment, Mississippi every motherfucking year, you know who they have these kids talk to? They talk to these motherfuckers who are locked down 23 and 1. They talk to those motherfuckers about how much of their time that they fucking wasted, about how they're not respecting their motherfucking parents, about how doing all this shit and being a domestic fucking terrorist when within your fucking community got them nothing. What's going on, Captain Cisco? What's going on, Evan Bradley? But that's where we at. Dude, this was never my motherfucking experience for street dudes. Street dudes in high school was on their motherfucking shit. I have to admit, when these niggas played sports, I did hold money for some of these fucking niggas. I did while they was out there doing their shit. Hey man, I need you to hold this. What the fuck? This is $3,000. Why the fuck do you have $3,000 in gym shorts? But the motherfuckers did what the fuck they did, held their money, and gave it back to them after the shit was over with. These were high school motherfuckers. And the only thing they could particularly do is invest in stupid shit. They never really cleaned up their motherfucking money on some money laundering shit because there was no banks down there that would even accept bank accounts for most black people. Shit, when I went to my 20-year fucking reunion, I tried to open up a fucking bank account in my fucking home city. I got a call. I had to have a conversation with the bank manager. Bank manager came out like, so why do you want to open an account? I'm like, because it's my fucking right. But that dude wanted to know, what were you intending to do with this fucking bank account? We're talking about 2020. We're talking about 20 fucking 20. Motherfucker was asking me, why the fuck would I want to open up a bank account in their city? So the shit is for real. And you have to understand that if you have a socialized level of failure, that what this actual culture actually produces, you're never gonna be able to see that shit. Eric Bird, they return our super chat. I called the former street dudes out. Dude was begging me for money while he was probably looked down on working brothers. Yeah, but like that wasn't all street dudes. And that's the point of this conversation. There were fuck niggas like that who did shit like that, and I know who they are within my communities, like two of them versus like the five that didn't do no shit like that. It was always the street dude that actually was closely aligned and closely in the community was actually dudes like what you're talking about, Eric Bird. But like most of them dudes, like most of like the drug runners who used to run drugs from like Mexico to Dallas to actually like Mississippi, them dudes were drug runners. They didn't have time to be around people and do that shit. They used to be out there. They were just out there. But like most of these dudes, like very close to the community who tried to justify what the fuck they were doing, living in a Section 8 motherfucking house, thinking that they was better than working class brothers. Yes, there were those type of dudes, but it wasn't the majority. And yes, a lot of those dudes wanted to shame and humiliate working class dudes for going out there for such a long time to make the type of money that they can make in a heartbeat. You seen it. You seen it from the pimp who died. How much that he told working class dudes that they were dumb as fuck for going out there trying to get their shit together. Don't think I've not forgot about that conversation because he made that shit wide to the motherfucking open, and most of these dumbass YouTube motherfuckers just slaughtered the dude for the shit. He actually said that shit out his motherfucking mouth. That's what I mean by fake street dudes and real street dudes, man. Like dudes who was really out there like that, bro. Bro, they didn't have to really down nobody to make themselves feel better about what the fuck they were doing. They never really had to do that. Everybody knew that he was on some fuck shit. Everybody knew that he had the cars and the cribs and all that kind of shit. Everybody knew that he was fucking all these young ass women, fucking enticing them with money because they was broke as shit, like on some real human trafficking shit. But at the end of the motherfucking day, you could have picked from some other group of people, not his crop of people, because he wouldn't allow that shit. Everybody knew who the fucking drug kingpin's motherfucking girl was, regardless of fucking age. That shit is no accident. But to have these cosplay ass motherfuckers look up to people like this, dude, it is some stupid ass shit, man. And you got to be able to point this shit out, so that way this shit can stop happening. Because there's a lot of broken ass dudes who come from, God forbid, messed up circumstances, and they're looking for leadership any way that they possibly can. So how can you look for leadership when you've never been raised around men? Like they've been taught to actually hate and discard the actual people that they actually should be listening to as a life study. This is what they've been taught. These people come to the table with a level of socialized disrespect. And it has to be against everything in a potential and possible fucking nature for them to actually recognize that what the shit that they was on was some bullshit all the while. That's the way the shit was. And I'm just telling you, that's the way it was. But when it came to most of these actual street dudes, like growing up, man, like they wasn't really trying to humiliate the fuck out of dudes like that. Like, bro, like they couldn't do that type of shit in high school. Them dudes left. Them dudes had car. Like, okay, so they had cars and shit, and you didn't. Okay, of course, they're gonna get the actual access to the women, and you're not gonna be able to. Why? They got economics argument. If she can get with that dude and ride across town, and your ass is walking around everywhere with no fucking money, of course they're gonna pick them. And you got to be okay with that shit. Because at the end of the day, once you get your shit together, now the shoe is going to be on the other foot. You ain't got to worry about that shit once you get your shit together. Yeah, that's what it was. I remember like one time when I thought I wanted to do that shit, and I got pulled to the side like, bro, you can't do this shit. You will not be doing this shit. Called out my mama's name and be like, bro, listen, we depend on you to get the fuck out of here to come back here someday to save the rest of us. You don't need to be doing shit like this. I don't feel good doing shit like this. I do shit like this because I gave up on my motherfucking life. And you not gonna give up on yours. We believe in your motherfucking ass. Bro, put this shit down. Anything that you need, you come and talk to me about. Anything your family need, your mama need, you fucking come talk to me about it. Though bring your motherfucking ass out here doing this shit. There ain't no motherfucking friends out here. This quick money don't mean shit. I'd rather give you what the fuck you need than to create another one of me. That's what those dudes were like. They wasn't trying to create competitors inside their own environment. They knew what the fuck they were on. They knew what the fuck they was on. And they did not want to create another one. A lot of these motherfuckers know a hell of a lot about law enforcement and history and law and all this shit, especially when they get locked the fuck up and they proud to have their actual case in this fucking book. That's when they fucking learn a hell of a lot about the actual system that created them in the first place. So that way, when you have prison scholars trying to come around here, not taking sides and just languishing in broken black male failure without providing a way out of this shit, that's what you know these motherfuckers are on. What's going on, Roman, son? And they do, but it's a socialization process. This is what this I care about the community. No, you don't. You care about the community being taken care of by other people's laborers other than the people who created those problems in the first place. That's what this community shit is about. This community shit is about saving broken fucking women and broken fucking kids. It is not about addressing those decisions that those people made to create families and children under those bad covenants. It's never about addressing that shit. It's about making sure that somebody is going to be cannibalized so that way these people don't have to feel the weight of failure of them or their kids. So what they do is they weaponize their actual children by not being honest with them about where they're at, about how to move forward, about how to engage in the actual system. They sit their motherfucking ass right there and they watch their kid fall into abject failure, and then they blame the working class guy over it. They blame the old individuals who retired from an actual system over it. And they socialize this actual child into that their further subsistence is taking from other people. It's not just a black thing. You can go to Mansfield, Ohio, you can see the same shit. You can go to Lima, Ohio, you can see the same shit. You can go to Portsmouth, Ohio, you can see the same shit. You can go to fucking Toledo, Ohio, outside the downtown area and see this shit. You can see this shit in Cincinnati. You can see this shit everywhere. Especially in rural fucking America right now. They're not trying to make those people committing those crimes, trying to look like they're pure fucking criminals. Bro, that shit is reserved for us. But you guys have got to recognize that there's a difference. And there always have been a difference. But this difference ended up not being fully explained because the people who've been through this shit don't want to tear down the actual track record of the shit that they built up. And the people who's faking this shit are leveraging the fact that those people are not going to be quiet and actually further bolster themselves through the same environment. It's the same shit. So when I see Charleston White like talking about these dudes and they really can't say shit to him, there's a lot of truth in what he's actually saying. Most of the shit is just trolling these actual dudes, but there's a lot of truth in what he's saying, and he's presenting it in a way that make these people feel uncomfortable than a motherfucker because ain't nobody really addressed this shit. This type of shit should have been addressed a long time ago by church leaders and community leaders or any of that shit. But most of these church leaders and community leaders were running a co-op over these broken black boys. They were and women too. Most of these so-called leaders was running a co-op of trying to keep this shit rather the same, rather than changing the entire system so that way everybody else can benefit. That's why the actual ability to get the fuck out and separate is so important. That's why understanding and recognizing that no matter what, your ass is gonna be alone for most of this goddamn journey, and it's gonna be hard as fuck possible to find somebody compatible with within this actual system to deal with who actually respects what you've been through and the actual culture of the history. That's gonna be hard as fuck too. See, nobody tells you about that shit. They try to socialize you into thinking that, hey man, they all the same. So pick your own poison, pick your own consequences, and get started. That's not how that shit works in the real world everywhere else. But when you got the inverted pyramid going on, the inverted pyramid is the people who are much older than you is going to be better off than you, and they're going to create more and more broken children as the actual levels of generation go on. But what happens when the collective information in the environment is better than bad parenting? What happens when the collective information is better in the environment than the actual silence of parents not really teaching their kids how to do shit? At some point, you start to have kids having more information than the oldest people who are here. That's currently what you have right now. A lot of these young ass kids know not to go to these adults for shit. They know that these adults are so messed up in the head that they don't want the same outcomes that they had. It is clear and obvious that it's stupid as shit for you to follow in those footsteps. What's going on, Yuri? That's what it is. But you have to understand that, dude, like the dudes who really did this shit, they're not acting like YouTube dudes. They're not out here acting like YouTube dudes, putting on this fucking fake ass uniform, this child support uniform, acting like they're the universal avatar of the streets. Dude, they're not doing that shit, man. You look as dumb as shit coming out here with a Nazi fucking uniform on, a straight up SS uniform with the swastikas and everything, trying to act like you run shit in America. Like, bro, people look at you like you crazy. They know you cosplaying on this shit. They know that you would never own this shit and you would never for real about it. And most people do this shit is because they want to act like they have the woman's respect because they turn into a Bravo Alpha November. A totally fucking dude who just totally stupid as shit. Who would do anything for sexual access. Like that's what these dudes are on. Act like they don't understand the problems in society that go far beyond sexual access and the actual consequences of it if you pair up with the wrong type of person. Real street dudes ain't on that shit. Most of these street dudes ain't even got access to their own motherfucking kids. And they cherish all the time that they do have with them. So what happens when you're being socialized into a bad system that the people who are pushing this shit, they don't even have access to? They have never lived that shit. These people get to take these costumes off and go home. A lot of these people have to be in this shit for the rest of their goddamn lives, man. What's going on, LOM? But that's currently where we are. And it's like, how can we talk about this community shit and have all these people who give a fuck about the community without addressing how we got here? Real street motherfuckers know how we got here. That's why they don't even bother being part of the conversation. They just want the shit fixed. Not only for them, but for their own sons and daughters too. That's why you that's why you don't see these motherfuckers out here with fucking coming online and talking about their past and trying to get a big ass huge fucking following about trying to educate people about prison or they don't do that shit. Actually, they think that shit is some high clown shit when people out here doing it. At this point, it is lame at this point. It is lame at this point. But you got most people who got learning disabilities who just claim that they fucking street dudes and claim that they can't fucking fit in society, and they hide behind the street shit on some fucking male inferiority shit. That's why most of them do it. I'm talking about the cosplay dudes. I'm not talking about the dudes who really did it. I'm talking about the cosplay dudes. It's on some male inferiority shit. Like they can't go out here, watch YouTube channels, gain a motherfucking skill, invest in their fucking self, and put themselves in a better financial position. You guys have got to realize this shit. Like, bro, listen, you can't live your life through these motherfuckers who are doing this shit the wrong way. Yeah, bullshit is gonna cross the fucking world 5 or 6 times before this real shit hits you. I just hope that you see this shit. The non-participation in society have not gotten these people anything. The actual ability to sit your ass right here and pretend like this shit is just fine the way it is without any level of progression is something that nobody should be lauding at all. But that's where we at. A lot of people are hiding behind the street image is the reason why they're behind. They're hiding behind the street image is the reason why they have to pick bad women. They're hiding behind the street image is the reason why they can't really acclimate to the actual environment. They're hiding behind the inferiority complex as the reason and justification of how come they cannot comport with society because they're fucking societal created sociopaths. These societal created sociopaths want to subsist off of everybody else within the environment. They require principal people to survive. They require principal people to survive because they don't have any principle. Principal people are the people who they feed off of. They feed off of their actual kill them with kindness bullshit, everything else that comes with it. The inability to set things straight because no one has been socialized into actual order. And every time you try to institute any sort of principle or progress or standard, they call you a fucking hater. Like they're supposed to forgive the actual fact that these people, what they own is some bullshit. You could just call somebody a hater and that's just the fuck it. There's no critical examination of the shit that is going on at no point, just so that way somebody is benefiting off of it. Yeah. You have to understand, man, bro, it's a capacity issue. It's a capacity issue. Do you have the capacity to understand that you ain't supposed to be on this shit? It's easy to call people stupid. It's easy to call people dumb. It's easy to call people anything. But sometimes people just ain't got the capacity to fucking understand that the shit that they're currently on is not going to create a good result for anybody. What's going on, Wackaroto? That is correct. You are correct. You are correct. 100% correct. And these are the people who chase down the information to understand the actual process. Now, to a lesser extent, they're not out here militant as fuck in these communities and making sure that other kids don't actually turn out like them. It says helmet for a helmet. Yeah, that's what it is, man. But that's currently where we are. Like, dude, like everything is stolen valor, man. Everything is stolen valor. Fake pro blacks and knowing shit about black history and not really learning their lessons from history. Somehow people just go to that shit. They go to it all day. Like most of these people don't mind putting their face on camera and talking about abject fucking bullshit. I think that shit's crazy. I think that shit is straight up crazy. That you're willing to put your real face out there and be on some fucking hoe shit consistently for attention. I think that's some of the dumbest shit ever. You don't see none of these people who served any real time in prison on camera talking about their fucking exploits and shit that they went through. Why would they do that? Like, this is the reason between real street dudes and fake street dudes. The fake street dudes, they didn't do the shit, but they wanted to actually, they want all the accolades for it. So what's going on? Like, say it again, Derek McKinney. Say it again. Say it again. A lot of these dudes know that a lot of people did not reach their maximum level of accomplishment within the environment because they, not through their own actions, but the actions that they created situations for other people to get killed. They created the environment so that way other people would never be able to make it to their maximum effect of life. Yeah, most people are ashamed of that shit. And that's how come they don't come out of their house, they don't hang around with people, they don't do none of that shit. They don't feel safe because the actual real street dudes know that if people were to treat them the way they should be fucking treated, that they wouldn't be able to live in nobody's community. That's what the real street motherfuckers actually do know. That's why they suffer so much fucking PTSD that they put themselves through, by the way. But that's what they actually know about this situation. Like if these people actually knew and these people took the action that they actually could have taken, yeah, man, like the first person they'd be taking out is them. That's where we at. But you got to realize, man, that a lot of people is gonna try to eat off of this fucking image. We shouldn't be having 50-year-old dudes dressing like dudes in the 90s trying to tell us about news. That shit's crazy. Nobody's talking about how to get to the money. Nobody's talking about how to get to the actual career fields. Nobody's actually talking about any of that shit. Everybody's trying to talk about what's going on in the news cycle. That's so fucking easy. It's so easy. You don't even have to do anything. Bad things happen and you just cover it. Everything to take the actual focus of people away from the shit that they need to be focused on. And then they have the nerve to complain about shit when things go wrong and it don't go their way. At the end of the day, you shouldn't be looking up to these people, man. The real people who did this shit for real, they know they're not to be looked up to like that. They know that shit. The fakers, the fakers are the ones who want to steal the valor of these people who actually did all that shit and actually wanted to do something else with it. They wanted to flip their actual image into something else. Like the passport bros and shit. People want to flip that shit into something else. They want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about the progenitors of somebody who created some shit. Everything is all about taking somebody else's concept and running to the fucking hole with it. That's what this shit's about. It's not about building your own shit. It's about leveraging somebody else's shit. And this level and lack of principle is some crazy shit. The people who don't have any principle, who actually feed off the environment itself, they have more principle among themselves, a lack of it, than people who actually being feasted upon. Make that make sense? It's a socialized level of silence that you're not supposed to try to fix anything. That's what this stuff is turned into. You don't have to do this shit. You don't have to. Dude, I'm like me and Mike B was talking offline about how these dudes came into the IT shit in school. They wouldn't be there past a couple semesters because once it came out of those preliminary classes and we started getting into the hard sciences, and it wasn't about he and ha ha, and you actually had to do some shit in class, the dudes were the fuck up out of there. But you were still lame as fuck because you went through the actual system and you challenged power and you got on with somebody. But at the end of the day, they still wanted to spend your fucking money once you got it. They want you to spend your money on their failures because that's what they were socialized into. That shit's crazy. That shit is fucking crazy. Strong soft sayings. But this is where we at. This is where we at. It can't just be me who had this experience with people. It can't be me. It can't just be me. But you need more of these street dudes out here coming back to regain their actual image, to actually regain their actual track record from these people who's coming out here grifting off their fucking image and shit. You know, you got G's with PhDs and stupid shit like that. Crazy shit. Crazy shit. Trying to raise money from a documentary that's not going to change anything. You haven't taken a side, bruh. You don't need a documentary to take a side. What you trying to be, Tariq Nasheed? We already got one of those. We already got one of those who garner a whole bunch of attention that don't really do shit with this fucking platform, but keep up and re-perpetuate the same fucking issues that are already here. No side taking, no political organizing, nothing. I'm still waiting on Marcel Dixon to come ask some of these Republicans about reparations. Yeah, he had the unmitigated gall to jump up in the face of fucking Raphael Warnock. I want to see him jump up in the face of Mitch McConnell. I want him to see jump up in the face of McCarthy and ask them for reparations. I want him to jump up in the face of Lauren Boebert or MTG. That's what I want to see. I want to see that shit. I want to see it. I want to see Dr. Ron Neal cover the actual things on the conservative side because none of it's good. It's the worst time in history to claim that you're a cultural conservative. The worst time. Bro, you got insurrectionists over there and all that kind of other shit. Bro, it's a bad time to be over there. It's a bad time. But at the end of the day, you have to go after these people's ideas. I don't really care about these people personally. I care about the shit you put out since you want to represent us. And there's no fucking reason to be believing in broken masculinity or leveraging this shit off on other people. If you feel lacking in your masculinity, that's a you problem. Like if I'm feeling lacking in my fucking self-esteem, that's a me problem. I don't need to wait on a movie to actually exhibit a form of masculinity that I'm not fucking living to feel good about myself. That's some hoe ass shit. That's some hoe shit. To socialize failure into outsourcing some shit that is your responsibility. It's your responsibility to correct this shit, not the world. The world ain't, listen, the world ain't about to fix nothing for you. The world is about to come out here to take advantage of your deliberate failure. Deliberate failure. If you're so right, how come you can't debate it? If you're so right, how come you can't debate it? But hey, at the end of the day, you got to make sure that your ass is on top. You got to make sure that your ass is on top of this pile of rubble. Dude, you can dodge this shit very easily. You can dodge it. Hey, listen, for that guy, you have to understand that, listen, all that shit that he's doing behind the scenes on that fucking website of his, that shit is about to come out into the wide open. There's a reason why all these social media companies banned him from being on there. There's a lot of shit that is about to come out over this fucking trial, that what this trial is about to be about. You have to understand this. If you fly somebody to another place and they just claim that they were trafficked, guess what? You're involved in human trafficking. That's just the end of the story. You have to understand that women have an inordinate amount of power over dudes who can't control their dick. Trust me, if these people can retroactively take away consent and your actual business model is based on talking all this shit about them, like, bro, you're going to be in a lot of trouble eventually. It's gonna Red Pill Finance.
What's going on, MOT, man? Happy New Year's, bro. You
What's
can hear
going
me?
on, man? Yeah, I do.
Yeah, man. With that Andrew Tate situation, man, like just the way he's moving, me personally, I would have got married or
Bro,
messed
in a
with like an
heartbeat.
actual service or something like that, man. Like
Why
when
you
you
think the
somebody
fuck
like
I'm married? Yeah, why you think I'm married? Cause I'm not about to lose my money to one of these allegations. I go to these private parties. I see what the fuck go on in these private parties, and any claim at one of those private parties, we all in some serious ass trouble. That's why I stay the fuck away from that shit and let them dudes do them.
exactly like he act like he don't have something to lose, man. Especially when you coming on YouTube and you have like these hard talking points, man. People finna try to stick anything on you, man.
And you have to understand that you don't have the rights that you have in the United States. You don't know how those laws are written. We just know what he's claimed. Like I looked at all the shit. You can barely find anything about what's specific about it. You can't even find about what place where he's even at. Like you're talking about a society that is not really upcoming with that information. And it's like, you're gonna take your ass to this place and engage in this type of shit post hoc. And it's like, bro, listen, it doesn't take a lot to have these claims. These people could just come back. Like I seen who was it? The dude from Aerosmith.
Hmm.
He had somebody come back and said that she was groomed as a 16-year-old child to have sex with him. She's come back what 40 something years later talking about this shit, and she been taken dead serious about it. But you gonna do this shit on the regular, bro? Bro, you're not gonna be able to keep doing this shit with these motherfucking women, whether they're lying or whatever. If you have a bitch-based business model, it's either complaining about them or leveraging the discomfort of people about it. You're going to be in a lot of fucking trouble eventually.
Yeah, you're gonna definitely gonna head to like some sort of crossroads, man. Like even look at Bill Cosby, man, somebody his age. So just look into the future, probably like 20 years from now, man. Like that's why I be telling people, man, you gotta act like you have something to lose, whether you broke or don't have it right now. But as long as you working on that path and you got something for yourself, you feel me? So that shit meant to be protected.
Okay, so now, okay, so let's check this out. Let's say that he's innocent. Let's say that he goes through this whole trial, this whole ordeal, and he's innocent. These people are not going to be allowing this dude to be on like that. And then every time that he does something else, they're going to keep re-referencing this old case. Like in the United States, you can't do that with law, but everybody else, you can do that with law. So people are like, oh, well, I'm just not gonna come to the U.S. and I'm gonna be on this bullshit. I'm like, bro, listen, we have the most fair system in the world for people who got money. Over there, it doesn't matter how much money you fucking got. If they want your ass out of there, they're gonna get your ass out of there. There ain't nothing you're gonna be able to do about it. Nothing.
Yeah, yeah, man, definitely, man. Yeah, the rules overseas are definitely set up different, man. Like over here, you can have you a good lawyer and all that. You could probably pay your way, but over there, man, like you said, they really like on the law, man. They can really care less about the money that you got and the fame and the accolades and all that.
Yeah, I mean, but over here you can pay your way out of shit. I remember when David Beckham got caught driving. I think he got his license suspended and he went to court. He thought that fucking fame shit was gonna work. Like, bro, you in England? They don't give a fuck about that. Boom, license pulled. That's what
Oh,
the fuck it was.
it's applying in England as well. Like I thought
No,
they were kind of like more like us.
no, no. Not when it comes to people getting out of shit. Like the trials don't go on for as long a period of time. It's pretty much factually fucking based. And you're walking in, the trial's over, and you get the consequences like everybody else. It's not like here in the United States where you can buy off people in the meantime. Dude, there's nothing like that. That's some U.S. based shit.
Hmm.
It is, and like a lot of people don't understand, man. Like, bro, listen, they can come back in any given time, any given level of your stardom, and take your whole platform and life away from you. And some people are never going to be convinced otherwise, even when those type of claims are made. So it's like, if this is the type of shit that you say, you better have it from a protected position. Because even if he was married right now, that doesn't mean a woman could come back from 3 or 4 years ago and make the same claims that this woman did. It doesn't mean that. It means that your ass is still susceptible as long as you're in the public eye. Every woman that you ever fucking dealt with becomes your actual enemy at that point. And a lot of people think that, oh, eyeballs are good. No, eyeballs are not good. Not good at all.
It's not, man. I'm seeing this shit more happen more often, man. Like even at where I work at right now, man. Like I know multiple people. I know this one dude. He was talking to this one female, and now she's saying that she's stalking him. When I know dude personally, like he not really like that. You feel me? And it's just like, yo, you got to be careful who you talk to at work and all that, man, because you don't want to have that jacket on you, word spread around of you doing a certain thing when that's really not true. And now you already got the public opinion looking at you different, man. So once you go to HR, it's pretty much a wrap for you. You feel me?
Yeah, man. Like I know a lot of dudes who tried this shit, and a lot of them tried to contact me behind the scenes about how to get the fuck out of it. And I'm like, yeah, man. Good luck with that. Go with the person who actually told you how to do this stupid shit in the first place. Oh man, well they just didn't say anything. Yeah, because it was bullshit information, and you was never supposed to try it. The shit was entertainment, and you tried to try it in your real motherfucking life. And it's like, bro, listen, the self-esteem boost that you get off listening to this shit. Okay, try practicing some of that shit in your real life, and you're gonna realize that shit don't work that way. And it works different ways in different countries for different reasons. But that's like, bro, a woman's opinion in another country when they gunning for your motherfucking ass is worth everything.
Yeah, man, so true, man. I got a question for you though. Like, what's your thoughts on Charleston White? Cause me personally, I just feel like you said, man, he more of like a troll to me, but at the same time,
Yeah,
he
he is
do
a
spit
troll.
some
Yeah, yeah,
real he do say some real stuff at times.
yeah. But he mixes it in, and he mixes it in, and it's meant. He says deliberately incendiary things to anger certain people,
Mm-hmm.
like certain shit that he shouldn't be saying. Period. But he has to do it to kind of garner the attention of people. Like you have to have a kernel of fucking truth to keep people kind of attached to the situation. But I do get what he's actually doing though. But
Oh, so
like,
you actually support Charleston White?
nah, I don't. But I understand what his business model is. That's different than just supporting him. I have to understand things and understand the motivations behind things. It's not really whether I support him or don't support him. It's do I understand what he's trying to do and why. I guess that's a better way of putting it, or where I support him or not. Yeah, I do support the fact that calling out these fake ass street niggas and all this other stupid shit that they go work for pennies on the dollar for other people to exploit their own fucking community. Yeah, that shit should be pointed to fuck out. Because at the end of the day, if you don't own your own music and you doing all that shit for the fucking free, then what kind of shit is this?
Yeah, I don't get it either, man. These the same rapper that'll tell you, "Oh, you need to go buy a real chain." When that same chain, they're leasing that chain. They don't really even own the chain. So a lot of these things that they talk about, as far as like they chain, they cars, and all this other shit, they really don't even own that at the end of the day.
But you have to understand that the reason why they have these cars and chains and all this bullshit is just a stunt on another person. Like none of this shit really means anything when it comes to long term wealth or long term health or long term building a family or none of that shit. It's about just stunting on the motherfucker in a club to get a woman that you're only gonna have access to for a very specific minimum amount of time, that she's socialized to be with you there for a very minimum period of time, and that she's socialized to just walk away from your ass once the money is done. So what is this shit really about? I mean, it's really just some stunting shit. I get it. At the end of the day, like his spick and fees are not really that high. I think about having them all, but at the end of the day, these dudes deserve to be clowned for this shit, man. Like the whole culture is being controlled by dumbass motherfuckers who can barely fucking read, but they know everything in the words of this fucking music, but they don't even know who they representatives are in their fucking city, and don't even participate in democracy. But they listen to this goofy ass shit.
Exactly. Like people trying to blame the reason why their kids can't read is because of the government. And I'm like, listen, you gotta take responsibility for your kid not being able to read, man. Like
bro.
I literally went through this system in school to where like I seen people. I think it was like the seventh. I think it was like in high school, so I was like the 10th grade. And these people still couldn't read. Like the teacher told him to read out loud. Multiple kids couldn't read out loud. So I'm not gonna put
Nah.
that on the school system, man, because it me personally, I don't even feel like they were meant for us to succeed in the first place. But I gotta put the onus on the parents. You feel me?
Yeah, but the actual that's what I mean by this outsourcing shit. Like the first school that an actual kid is actually introduced to is the fucking mother
Mm-hmm.
who created the kids. Like, okay, so the mother, okay, so you're gonna be at school with 8 hours a day, so that's 40 hours a week. But 16 hours out of those hours, minus the 8 hours that's being slept by the actual child, in the weekends, most of the kid is around you. You mean to tell me that you can't get this motherfucker a tablet, some type of program, put this dude on some other shit, especially when you have access to so much technology right now? Bro, I'm not
It's
buying that
crazy,
shit.
man.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it, dude.
Especially
Like,
with the age of AI that's coming along, man. Like, man, this robot can literally teach all your kids all this shit, man. It really don't even take much nowadays, you know?
dude, at the end of the fucking day, you bro, YouTube. Like, bro, if we had YouTube and like when I went to high school and people taught us how to get our like, dude, you don't even need tutoring now. You have programs that you can download to your phone or to a tablet, and your kid can learn all of that shit. It's like worrying about the outcome of kids, dude. That's a parenting problem. And try to leverage that shit. I'm like, bro, that's still a parenting issue. There ain't
Yeah,
no way you
nowadays
can
ain't
fix that shit.
it ain't no excuses, man. Definitely, man. YouTube leveraging the internet is probably the best thing you can do nowadays, man. Like you got MIT courses on here for free, motherfucking free
Yes.
code boot camp, and all this other shit, man. Ain't no reason why nobody kids shouldn't be learning something, man. But at the end of the day, man, like you said, most people go to entertainment and all the other shit.
Because it's perceptibly easy, but you really have to put forth a certain level of bullshit. Like, okay, let's go through the algorithm of YouTube and the algorithm of China. Okay, in China, on their TikTok and shit, you can't be online at a certain specific time of day. You can't do that. And they promote actual educational shit over bullshit like the actual algorithm promotes in the actual United States. So I'm like, do you not understand that you are the fucking algorithm for your fucking child? Okay, let's say that you don't know how to do anything. You can make sure that your child knows how to do all of this fucking shit. You can take your child to the library. You can buy your child a motherfucking tablet. You can download all these programs to the fucking tablet. I don't even think you need tutoring all that much anymore. I think that if these people were connected to this shit way earlier, they would have way better outcomes. But a lot of these parents want to see somebody that they're actually better than. And that's how come they don't even give them the information. And then they become just as lost as the parents are. And then they have to go to school and then they cannot move forward and then they drop the fuck out.
Man, these the same kid that had the new Jordan, new book bags, and all that, man. And even the
Shit ain't got
parents,
nothing to
man,
do with
like
that.
you'll
Like
go to like the parent teacher night, and you can tell which parent will come out, man, just by the student. You feel me? Those students who couldn't really read, or they wasn't really on that educational tip, you would never see their parents actually come out to a parent teacher meeting to actually see what's going on.
and that's what I'm saying. Like most of these people want to be independent of these bullshit circumstances anyway. So if you connect them to the productivity piece and tell them how much education and free shit that they can get access to once they become 17 or 18 fucking years old, man, them kids are gonna be great. They're gonna be fine. But a lot of these parents don't want to feel like they're the worst person on the planet for putting this motherfucker here in the first place. So it's like, what are we doing here? It's like that's why I can't really feel sorry for the actual argument. Yes, there are funding problems because we know how schools are actually funded. I think that we should change that shit before we get rid of the affirmative action piece when it comes to school admissions. Because I think that if you have equal protection under the law, like you say you have equal protection under the law, then everybody has to have the same level of education funding. Like when I lived in Germany, Like, dude, these kids were smart as fuck. Smart as fuck. They knew all about American history, like far more than people here do in the United States. They knew all that shit. And it's like they were able to have competent conversations about the Civil War in the South. We're talking about people in high school. People here in the United States couldn't even have those levels and types of fucking conversations. And those people, like their actual quote unquote shop class, was actually like programming and other shit because they wanted to create kids that can go immediately into a unionized fucking workforce. Like we can create all of that shit here, but when you got people who don't understand how any of this shit fucking works and want to outsource it to people who don't give a fuck about them, dude, you're going to keep having the same perpetual problem over and over again. There's no way you're not going to have the same problem over and over again if you can't prove that you're trying to get past it.
Yeah, definitely, man. I agree with you on that, man. So, like, as far as in, like the American school system itself, like we know, like the big problem with like misallocation of funds. So, what are the problems that are actually being presented as far as in like the money not going in the right places?
I don't think you need money to make education good nowadays. I don't think so. I think all that shit they teach in these schools, you can have at your fucking house. To be quite honest, nowadays, today, I mean, like when I went to school in like the early '90s, it was different. The buildings and shit didn't mean shit when you got books that was 20 and 25 years old from the actual private school across the fucking city. That's how they fucking treated us back then in the Mississippi Delta. But now, right now, when everybody have access to the same information, when everybody have access to a fucking phone, what's wrong with JD Orca? Like, dude, everybody have access to the same information now. Everyone does. Today, everybody have access to the same information. Bro, it wasn't like that in the early '90s. Everybody have a better starting point right now. It's just that these parents can steer these kids into this shit. They just fucking don't. It's either they don't want to, they don't care to, they're not trying to create it, but whatever it is, you need to make these motherfuckers aware of what the fuck's out here.
But like you said, though, we can't really blame the boomer generation. So they've been
Oh
socialized into
hell
this.
no. No, no. Blaming boomers is some hoe shit at this point, especially when you have people on some entertainment goofy shit right now talking about boomers. I'm like, motherfucker, we are the new fucking boomers. Okay? Grand fucking opportunity. We ain't doing shit with it. We ain't creating no motherfucking families that can motherfucking compete with motherfuckers. We're not even trying to stay the fuck away from problematic people. We keep trying to bring problematic people around and do all this whole shit. And it's like, bro, we are the new boomers. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, and it's like, look, I don't have any kids yet. Probably gonna have some in the next couple of years. But at the end of the day, I see the outcomes of not having these things in place. Like you could go somewhere and you can meet a kid who's homeless. Like right now, I'm in Kansas City right now. You could go to certain places. You can see homeless fucking kids, and they're just out there. The time that they spend out there worrying about their fucking next meal, they could be on a fucking tablet learning how to do shit. So that way, when they turn 17, 18 years old, they get access to this motherfucking opportunity and money. They out of there. But what happens when they're not socialized into that? It's a socialization process.
Hmm.
It's a socialization process. At the end of the day, look, listen, there's only a couple motherfuckers that I could recommend to my older aunts from the boomer generation. There's only a couple motherfuckers I could recommend to any decent fucking woman in the Generation X generation. I don't even want to know what the fuck it is below me. All right. We have a small percentage of people who get this shit, who want to create great shit. But what happens when you socialize people who get this shit and you put them in front of people who don't, and they feel like they don't have a choice for anything? That's a whole nother problem that people are not engaging in. It's just walking away from a bad system.
And then you said something yesterday that was kind of like I got a question about. You said that let's say you gonna buy property in a certain part of town, and
Hmm.
you were only going to put families in there. Why is that the case?
Yeah, because it's easy to put families in places once you control everything.
But why would you care who's in that property? I mean,
Yeah, who's gonna keep it up? You mean who's not gonna fucking destroy it in a couple days? You mean? Come on, bruh. Shit, bro. I have experience. I have experience with these motherfuckers, man. Look, listen. It's always a ranking system. Listen, when you go to actually interview for a fucking job, no matter what it is, you ain't the only person who's going.
Mm-hmm.
All right? You ain't the
Oh,
only
so you
person
just
who's
picking
going.
the best person at that
Yeah,
point.
that's correct.
Okay,
No,
I
this shit
agree
ain't
with you
hard.
on that. Cause you do
Yeah,
have some people that will tear your shit up just
yeah,
because.
dude, dude, in a heartbeat. There's some people you're putting your shit. Next thing you know, you got old whack niggas out in the fucking front yard trying to holler at every fucking woman in the community. Like, bro, listen, man, you got to get these niggas the fuck up out of there. When I say you the only motherfucker who gonna live here, and these are the fucking rules of the establishment for you to actually fucking live here, and you gonna sign up on this shit. The moment that you ain't on this shit, the moment I see fucking maggots fucking riding throughout the fucking community and visiting this shit, they're probably living with you out of here. You and them. The fuck out of here. That's how you have to do it. Everybody else have rules, man. A
But
lot of people
like
think
a
that
lot
they're
of
gonna
things
leverage
that you're
somebody else's
saying,
shit.
a lot of this thing that you're saying, I agree with. Like even when it comes to the when we were last talking, we were talking about white people should actually get some part of reparations. Some people will
No,
look
no,
at you
no, whoa,
say
whoa,
all
whoa,
these.
whoa, 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 whoa. That's not what I said. I said they will end up getting more reparations than black people
They'll
because they can garner the vote around white people getting reparations rather than black people getting reparations on some troll shit. They will end up getting far more out of this reparation shit than black people ever would because they're going to be the people who's actually fucking voting for it. That's what I meant. It doesn't mean that they deserve more. It's just that if you're dependent on their actual vote, they're gonna vote for their own people getting the shit over you getting it. That's actually what I meant by that.
Okay, so some people would consider all that you say as kind of being like some Uncle Ruckus shit. You feel me? So, cause it's kind of crazy because some people would look at that like, why would somebody who come from Mississippi even consider having white people into that plan?
No, it's not even being considered into the plan. It's just that look, you've outsourced it to other people to go get. Let's start there. You outsource it to other people to get it for you because you don't want to fight for it yourself.
Right.
Let's start there. The people who you outsource it to don't give a fuck about you. You don't show up to vote to make sure that these people don't hold office. Now these people hold office. Now they're going to vote on whether or not you get some shit. And if they can help their people before they help you, they're going to help their people before they help you. That's the line. That's the chain of custody for this type of circumstance. Because when most people talk about reparations, it's always some broken piece of shit who had a whole bunch of kids out of wedlock, or some dumbass motherfucker who ain't got their motherfucking shit together, who is never motherfucking connected to the productivity piece, have all this shit about what the fuck the government owes them, haven't put nothing into any type of system or anything else, but somehow the world fucking owes them something. These motherfuckers have got to stop talking about reparations in any shape, form, or fashion.
Know what I'm saying? Like I used to watch like Amazing Lucas a lot, and me personally, he on that same tip, man.
Oh man,
Motherfuckers just come.
I really can't fuck with Amazing Lucas because he don't have a side. Obviously, he's on the left for what his content is, but he's not really invested on the left. He's in the middle trying to talk shit about the right while not investing on the left. Like
Right.
people on the right do the same shit, right? While they claim to be in the middle, they only talk shit about the left, but they're never investing in the right. So what you see with Amazing Lucas is the additive inverse of what actually happens when you have these fake ass motherfuckers on the right or people who claim to be in the middle. It's the same fucking shit. If you actually invested in the side, things get easier. You don't have to do live streams. You ain't got to do shit. You can just read and show up to vote. You can just learn the history and show up to vote. That's all you got to do. But you make a hell of a lot more work for yourself when you have to follow everything that happens within the fucking news cycle and try to pretend like your ass is this person in the middle with all these great fucking ideas when you don't have a mechanism to put forth the things that you're actually talking about.
Damn, man, you put in great words, man. That's what I'm saying, man. As far as like Amazing Lucas, like you say, he played both sides of the
He
argument, man.
does. He does. He's an entertainer. He's a very entertaining dude. But at the end of the fucking day, you have to see what the fuck he is actually doing. And track, okay. Where do you live? He's never brought that up.
He live
What
in
do you?
L.A.
It's on the fucking left. Like, come on, man.
That's what I
Stop
tried
this
to
shit.
tell him, man. I literally called down, like, bro, you literally stay in California. He's like, oh, so what? I mean, like, bro, he don't get it, man. He just don't.
No, no, no. What he does is whenever you point him out on this shit, he fucking obsidians the fuck out of you and hang up on your ass. That's what he does.
Yeah, man.
What he does is he fucking obsidians you and then get you off the phone. No, he says some shit that just not on topic and nobody really holds him to any level of account for what's happening, and then it just goes on from there.
Yeah, man. But that's how a lot of these most of these conservatives that be moving on these YouTube streets be acting, man. It's wild. But it's crazy because I just seen the progression of this shit from like 2019 to like up until now.
Yeah, but you have to really understand it. Once you have this shit explained to you what the fuck is actually going on, you can really stop showing up to this shit. Like once you have the actual understanding of what's actually happening in front of you, because he can only do this shit when people are politically disengaged. You can't really like, okay, he's not showing up to any city council meeting or none of that shit. Because you wouldn't be able to run that shit. LA is left territory. California is left territory. The only reason why you live in California is because shit works. Oh, like, oh, taxes are high. Okay, move to Oklahoma. Move to Mississippi. Why the fuck don't you want to move there? Yeah. Yeah, that left wing shit is fucking nice. Like, listen, like everybody living in fucking New York. It doesn't matter if you live in Manhattan or fucking Staten Island. The whole point of why you're living in that area because shit works. And
Yeah,
it's not
true
because of
that.
conservatism that shit works. Because conservatism don't give a fuck about government. They give a fuck about not paying taxes and get everything else out of society and only punishing quote unquote people with no power. They have no problem with corporations getting all these tax cuts and breaks. You'll have corporate dick sucking motherfuckers who just start sucking corporate dick right in front of your face like they're a fucking billionaire. We're talking about poor people. Oh,
Hmm.
well, they provide jobs and all this shit. I'm like, yeah, but what about the social services in the area because taxation not being paid for? Oh, they just provide jobs. I'm like, wow, this nigga is sucking all this corporate dick. Like, wow, the fuck is wrong with this dude? But that's what it is, man. Like people don't understand how the system works.
So, like, is that one of the reasons why, like, whenever you bring somebody up on the panel that have like a critique of you, you ask them like where they live at,
Yeah,
as far as in like what state and like what actual city they live in.
yeah. Because here's the thing. What's going on, Brazil? Yes, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to his channel. Very good. One of the original passport bros within this space. Original. Talk about 6, 7 years ago. Original passport bros. But listen, this is why I say, where do you live and why do you live there? It really undercuts every conversation that you can have after that. Like, okay, let's say that, oh, I'm a conservative. Okay, okay, you live in Texas. Okay, you better not tell me that you live in Austin, San Antonio, Houston, or Dallas. Because if you fucking do, you're full of shit. because there's East Texas that you don't want to live in, there's West Texas that you don't want to live in, and then there's the area probably about 50 or 60 miles south of fucking San Antonio, all the way to Laredo that you don't want to fucking live in. Like, there's a place called Atlanta, Texas. I can guarantee you, nobody wants to live in Atlanta, Texas. That's a
Would you
conservative
consider
place.
Fort Worth more of like a conservative city?
No, 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 no. It's still connected to Dallas. It's still the Dallas metro area. So no.
Okay.
Like Littleton is still part of the Denver metro area, even though it's considered a conservative part of the Denver metro area. But at the end of the day, they still got the same liberal shit that everybody else got. Nice schools, nice roads, shit that works, infrastructure that fucking works. You call the police, they come out there instantaneously, all that shit.
But I think the thing for a lot of people is they want a government that actually works, but at the same time, they don't want their tax dollar going to certain things that they don't really agree with. I think that was most people's problem is when it comes to taxation.
No, I mean, but here's the thing. I pay a lot of taxes. I don't worry about the taxes that I pay because I'm getting all that fucking money back with all the money and shit that I get from the federal government through fucking government contracts. I'm not worried about taxation. What I'm worried about is billionaire corporations that don't pay taxes. Like, okay, I'm in the transportation industry. Effectively and numerically by percentage, C.H. Robinson pay less taxes than me. TQL pay less taxes than me. Fucking Prime, Warner, Snyder, JB Hunt. Oh, JB Hunt don't pay any taxes. Um, what is this? Swift Knight, they pay a less percentage of taxes than anybody else. Yeah. What the fuck I look like lobbying for people who are in the same industry that I'm in to pay less taxes than I pay. And we're in the same industry. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like the tax cuts and breaks that they get, I don't get that. So it's like when you're actually talking to people about the shit that's actually going on, they don't understand because they're trying to come out here with this. Well, let's troll the left because that's the easiest thing to fucking do. Yeah, let's think about why you're trolling the left, but you live in the left wing fucking area. Listen, none of these people live in right wing fucking areas. They don't.
Yeah, most of them don't. Not at all.
And that's what I'm saying. I was like, okay, well, I don't want to pay for women getting sex changes and shit. Really? That's what you're concerned about? How much money you think they spend on that? They don't spend no money on that. Especially when you compare that shit to actual exemption for churches and shit, which I think is pure entertainment. The motherfuckers are riding around with Bentleys and fucking billionaires. Nobody ever talks about church exemption. So it's like the things that they talk about that they don't want to pay for, that's always even the military industrial complex. I'm actually a part of it, by the way. But at the end of the day, you don't hear none of these fiscal conservatives ever talking about cutting the fucking defense budget. Because that's where all the fucking money's being spent at. Or or the fucking farm bill when it comes to actually subsidizing factory fucking farming from people like General Mills and and all this shit and all these people who create everything that is on your shelf in Walmart. Those people get a ton of fucking tax subsidies from the federal government to create that food for free. Kraft Foods, yeah, that conservative guy, that dude get a lot of fucking subsidies from the federal government. A lot of them. But he's a conservative for fucking what reason? He lives in a liberal fucking area. He ain't fucking stupid. You know what side this shit's buttered on? Like, this is what I mean. Like, when people don't know what the fuck is going on, this is the shit you have.
Yeah, for the most part, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, as far as like tax, I don't have a problem with paying taxes.
Me neither.
Rational primate said, like it's just more of like the corporate greed side, man. You know.
And it's always the corporate greed side. It's never the, the person who have like a small business. That's not the issue. Oh, well, I just want to take all my money home. Yeah. Why do you think you want to take all your money home? It's like they're selfish, but they don't understand. You got to have a minimum level of education to be properly fucking selfish. But to
What you
them, they
mean by
just
that?
stop. Like, okay, Elon Musk get a lot of money from the federal government to engage in all this bullshit that he engages in with his company. He's teamed up with the government for a lot of the shit that he's fucking doing. Why would a person like Elon Musk turn around and fucking say that he don't believe in paying taxes when he get $1 billion subsidies from the fucking same government to which he need to pay taxes to?
Yeah, well, that wouldn't really be working in his best interest.
That's what I'm saying. But billionaires lie all the time because you don't know how the tax system works. And if you knew how the tax system works, you'd be like, man, fuck these dudes. Open up the records. As soon as a motherfucker talk this stupid shit about how less taxes are paying, like, you can't do that in Germany. You can't do that in England. You can't lobby for less taxes in motherfucking England and fucking Germany. Bro, they'll burn your shit to the fucking ground because they know you full of shit. They know you fucking lying. They know that you're trying to take money and food out of their fucking mouths and their fucking society and spend it on yachts and boats and shit. Like, the people are not dumb. Here, they are dumb because they think that even though they're not in the yacht, they're going to be in the yacht someday. The only thing they have to do is just believe in less taxes now, and somehow they're going to be in the yacht later. It's the stupidest shit I've ever seen, man. The
Yeah.
stupidest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, man, definitely wild, man. I'm a big fan of Elon when it comes to like so what like he connected to do the government and him have some like
Yes,
connection to like
yes,
SpaceX.
yes, yes.
Wow, man.
Of course it is. Like, Or dude, once you start doing the military and the government's dirty work, you can shut the fuck up about taxation. You don't ever hear me talking about taxation because most of the money that come to me are taxpayers' money. What the fuck would I look like complaining about
Oh, when
taxation?
are you talking about like the government contracts and all that?
Yes, yes, that's what I'm saying. Why would I why would I complain about taxation when I take taxpayers' money? When I
I
have these
think
homes set up for veterans and shit, yes, that's taxpayers' money that's coming to me because I'm providing a service for the fucking government. Why the fuck would I turn around and just say, "Oh, I don't believe in paying taxes"? Dude, man, get the fuck out of here.
Oh man.
And it's like when somebody complains about taxes, ask them immediately about what the fuck they do and how big is their company. Because I guarantee you, a lot of these companies, big ass Walmarts and all the national fucking chains, bro, they get a hell of a lot more tax subsidies than people are able to realize. And these people don't pay their people any money to further subsidize everybody else paying for the actual employees for them. So it's like, man, get the fuck out of my face with this shit. It's like, okay, we know what Walmart pays and we know what Target pays, but somehow the profits are nearly the fucking same. It's quite obvious that they're just not paying the money because they ain't fucking got to.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you talking about as far as like paying their employees?
Yes,
So you're saying that since Target and Walmart get subsidized, they're subsidizing those employees.
yes.
Okay,
But
that
they
makes
turn
sense.
around, but they turn around and they complain about taxation right after they get all this taxpayer money. Man, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I see what you mean by that, man. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, but that's what we are because people don't understand how this actual system works. But once you understand how it works, like people don't understand the difference between the deficit and the debt. Like they're trying to make you look like the federal government is like a household. The federal government is not like a household. A federal government and a household is not the same. You know, you got to worry about protecting the world and stopping people's technology from fucking progressing and keeping people fighting each other through the fucking State Department. Like there's a whole bunch of shit that the federal government does that is completely bad. However, outsourcing jobs and shit wasn't supposed to be part of the deal, but it got to be part of the deal for some dumbass fucking reason. We're
Hmm.
supposed to keep the whole world down while we progress. And then all of a sudden, Bill Clinton came to office, then everybody started turning the shit on this fucking head. Yeah, this NAFTA, CAFTA, GATT, and all this other shit. While the Republicans complain about, oh, well, okay, when you were in office in 2004, when you owned everything, how come you didn't overturn the shit? They didn't. So it's like, so why the fuck are we complaining about a system that we know is here, that we know is bad? And then they gave them more power by actually saying, oh, okay, Supreme Court decision. Oh, okay, you can spend unlimited dark money in the election system. Who the fuck you think gave them the right to do that? They did that shit. 5-4 decision. Yeah. And it's like people don't understand that most of the shit that they're actually talking about are decisions being made that they can't even vote against. They can't even vote against. They're like, well, MOT, well, why are you on the left? Dude, I'm just, dude, listen, there's movement on one side and there's no movement on the other. Okay? Black Farmers Bill. Who the fuck voted against that? The people who I'm never going to fucking vote against.
Hmm.
Vote for in the fucking South. And not just the South, but most of everywhere else. But at the end of the fucking day, I think that most of these white farmers go through the same shit that black farmers go through. Like, like people don't know anything about the farm banking system, about how they can just sell your farm from under you for any type of fucking reason. Like, they don't need a reason to just sell your farm from under you. If somebody comes in and put down the money to sell your shit, that's just what happens. There's really no rules when it comes to that. Like a lot of people don't know a lot about how a lot of shit fucking works and everything become a catch-up session because people are so far behind. I get that. But when you have a non-level of participation from the same people who complain about the shit, it makes it far worse.
Yeah, it do because like even me, I'm still learning about like PhDs and like how the system works. So I mean, I can't really question or challenge somebody on their talking point. I mean, if I
But
don't
that's on
even know,
purpose.
so
That's on purpose. The whole purpose was to socialize a whole bunch of people into not knowing how shit works. So that way every conversation become a catch-up session while they push their fucking subpar masculinity based bullshit because that's easier to digest than actual progress. And they know that's what the fucking case is. They're not stupid. They're not
Because the
dumb.
average person think like a PhD is just like another level above a master's degree, right?
I mean,
I
it
think
technically is, but if you look at what the fuck they do after they get the fucking degree, it's always some horse shit. Like like their PhDs, you're supposed to go get a nonprofit organization or something. Like the people I know who went to Mississippi Valley, um, Jackson State, or Alcorn, no Delta State, they actually did shit after they went to school for their degree. Now the degree is easier to get because it's not in anything based in productivity. But at the end of the day, in order to get that degree, you have to add something to the conversation. You have to look through a specific level of actual databases to challenge somebody else's point and move the conversation forward. Not to fix it, but just to move the conversation forward. So when you have people who teach the same fucking shit over and over again, that's not connected to productivity, that's not connected to actually challenging power within the actual environment, and the only thing they get to do is hide behind victimhood, because that's an easier sell. Black male victimhood is an easier fucking sale than fixing the actual problem, getting people to the actual money, fixing the actual finances of fucking people, or focus on victimhood. They literally are doing whatever they claim the white supremacists are doing. They're actually doing their job for them. What's going on, Inquisitive Prince? What's going on, Power I or exclamation mark or L? But that's what we are. And it's not like I'm a hell of a lot smarter than anybody. I just know how this system works better than most of these people do. And that doesn't take intelligence. That takes saturation. That takes actually going through this actual shit and actually knowing what the fuck is going on. I used to be a Republican. I told people I used to be a Republican. I used to be a dumbass military industrial complex troll the fucking left Republican until the 2000 fucking election when I seen that they fucking made sure that all those people, I think it was Broward County, couldn't vote, and they just labeled them all as fucking felons, and they just stopped the fucking vote count. I'm like, hold on a second. You can't fucking do no shit like that. But to them, they was like, no, man, we're just here to win. However we win. And I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. So all this shit that I've been talking about, it didn't really mean anything? Like, yeah, quite naturally, yes. We were using you and the fact that you didn't know shit about your state or your fucking history against you and weaponized you against other people. They clearly, literally came out and fucking told me that shit. And that shit was my fault for not knowing. Not their fault. They knew what the fuck they was getting out of me. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. That was my fault. And I had to fix it. Dude, my political ignorance was my own fucking fault. Not knowing how the country that I was quote unquote serving at the fucking time and nothing got better in Mississippi, that was my fucking fault. That wasn't their fault. They know exactly what the fuck they was getting out of me.
Mm. And that was like the catalyst for you to actually become the person that you are today, as far as in like
Yeah,
participating and
yeah,
understanding the system.
correct. Because I seen people who were far dumber than I was, who was getting more success out of the same system than I was. Like like a lot of these people talk all this shit about oh, I work so hard. No, they didn't work hard. A lot of these people on military disability. A lot of them talk about how hard they fucking work. Dude, these dudes had
Yeah.
government contracts on military disability, living in base housing for next to $35 a month. So they were living off the government, off the government, off the government, off the government, two, three times overboard, while trying to tell everybody about how hard they were. And once you start understanding and noticing that these people were in the same situation in the same system over and over again, I'm like, what? Like these people were lying the entire time. And it's like, yeah, it's easy for them to lie about that if you don't know what the fuck they're talking about or what they're doing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have so like they think like having like a higher education make them more intelligent, but at the same time, if it's not really actually being applied, then I feel like you're just like anybody else, because if you go to school for like 7 years and you don't actually put that knowledge to good use, at what point are you just like everybody else?
No, but it's all about practical application. Here and now, practical application. That's the difference between education and intelligence. Practical application in the real world right now. Now, let's look at it. People in the 70s and probably 60s. They got degrees in information systems and all that shit that did not look like anything else that comes to the outcomes that we have today. But if you just take them based off of their education, you would think there's something's wrong with them. But it's still the practical application. It's the businesses that you build. It's the concepts that you push. It's the things that you're actually investing or involved in. It's the people that you hang around. It's all of that shit. It's not just education. Dude, anybody can go through a specific program. Listen, people could go through basic training for the Air Force and go in the Air Force and do a great job. Would you be able to go through the basic training when it comes to sniper school? No. Different set of skills, different set of practical application. I'm not gonna lie, I failed that shit. Why? Because I thought, man, screw these fundamentals. I can look through this thing and hit this target. Turn out you have to do the mechanics right. If you don't do the mechanics right, then it's not gonna work, regardless of how lucky you are. That's the thing. I had to learn all this stuff myself. But at the end of the day, anybody can just hide behind victimhood. Anybody can hide behind broken men. Anybody can hide behind all of this shit. Anybody can just keep sitting here and being all this stupid ass shit. Anybody can do that. It's really not that hard. It's the easiest thing in the world to do.
Yeah, so you feel like the recruiter that actually got you into the military pushed you to be like a police officer? Because when I was in high school, I was in like DRTC, and you had like all the recruiters come out at a certain day, and like they'll say, talk about the score that it takes for the ASVAB, and just talk about some of the field that they have. Me personally, I would have went to the Air Force, but I would have had wanted to get, I think it's like a 50. But I had the Marine dude. He was saying like, "Yeah, we can get you in." It was because I had an idea. If I were to go, I would actually learn the skill. But when I was trying to tell that to him, he was like, "Nah, man, you got to score. It's just good enough. We can just get you in." So I was like, I was good off that, and plus I had like a knee injury, so I couldn't really go. But yeah, that's how I feel like as far as in like most creators move.
No, that was my fault. I wanted to leave Mississippi on any means necessary as fast as possible. That was my fault, not the recruiter. I could have educated myself upon the system that was there. I could have asked a whole bunch of questions. I didn't. I took the first thing that was there, and yeah, and it put me behind 10 years.
So you don't feel like the recruiter should have enlightened you of like the other opportunity that was actually there?
That's not their job. Their job is to get you into the service. Then the job is not to give you the best outcome. That's my job, not his job. I had plenty of cousins and plenty of family members in the military. They just didn't fucking give me any information. They knew I was going in the Air Force. They never did. They never really told me shit. Again, that's my fault. His fault. Well, he wanted to just get me the fuck in. He seen a fucked up situation, a bunch. But that's what it was. It's not a recruiter's job to give you the best job. The recruiter's job is to place you in a position based on your score. That's not their job to get you the best outcome. You have to go for your own best outcome. When you go in the military, you have to do that shit yourself for your own reasons. You can't outsource a decision like that to a fucking person that you don't fucking know. You can't do no shit like that.
It's like every time you talk, man, it just goes back to like the fundamentals, man.
Yeah, it's like, oh well, we got a spot for you. Yeah, class starts at this date right here, and that's what it is. Yeah, and it's like, oh shit, you want to go in? You want to leave as soon as possible? You want to leave graduation night? Okay, motherfucker, go in open general. Yeah, your ass gonna end up being a cop. That's exactly what the fuck it was.
Hmm.
No problem. I did not feel bad about it because guess what? I got to see the world. I got to see some of the best individuals I've ever met in my life. Nothing would have unfolded the way it unfolded unless I went into the military. I can boldly fucking admit and say that. I can say that shit. I can say that none of this shit would have turned out this way unless I went to that fucked up ass situation over my own accord. That's my fault. And guess what? It's my fault that I'm succeeding too.
Definitely, man. Some people don't even take accountability for that, man. But for you to actually say that, man, that speak words right there. Yo, MOT, you still there?
Yeah, sorry, I had a phone call come in. Hold on a second.
Yeah, you good.
Think about it, man. You could just admit that you made a fucking mistake one time, or you could just keep being on this goofy shit forever, man. Yeah, I made a mistake. That's what happened. But in that mistake, I went to Germany, went to England, France, a whole bunch of fucking places, met some dope ass fucking people, seen a whole bunch of shit, and I don't feel bad about it.
Mm. Yeah, that's what we actually need right now, man. More people having like the accountability, man. But like you said, like these straight street dudes, man, like they'll come on YouTube, man, and just talk all this shit about all their experiences and all this other shit. And it's kind of like, man, it's
Not
steering
even their
people in the
experience,
wrong
man.
direction, man.
Not even their experience, and they
Hold
can
on one
only get
second,
away with it.
OG.
Oh. Yeah, again, man, like, that shit was my fault. I had to make the best of a bad situation. It was no different than being in the Mississippi Delta, man. I had to make the best of a bad situation, and it was my fucking responsibility to get the fuck up out of there, not anybody else. Should my grandfather have willed the house to me and all this shit? I guess it would have kept me in a bad fucking situation. It wouldn't have did shit for me. End of the day, I'm glad I had all these fucking experiences, man. It forced me to sink or fucking swim. That's what happened. It put me in a decision to where it was my decision and my choice to do all of this shit. What I always fucking wanted. And it wasn't just me, everybody else in the community that's my age, 4 years plus or 4 years behind, we all had the same great outcomes that we never saw, thanks to our fucking decision that we made to get the fuck up out of there. That we made to move to Memphis or move to Dallas or move to Atlanta, to go to school, to go to the military, to get the fuck up out of there. The whole point was to get the fuck out of those situations. What's going on, Lee Bruce? But that's what it was, man. But you have to be able to raise the cover on the fact that these motherfuckers are continuing to exist off of a well socialized lie. That's the problem. They're existing over a well socialized fucking lie that they continue to keep doing because they know that broken fucking kids are not meant to be correct fucking adults. They gonna leave your ass lost.
That I'm saying, man. Like we can't keep passing down failure to these kids, man. And, like when it comes to actually, if you went through some shit, you should be able to explain why you did it, how you gonna change, and what the younger generation should do to actually make a change direction of what they actually should do, man. And a lot of these people, man, just line these kids up to do the same shit that they did in the past. You feel me? And just fuck up their whole life.
That's why I'm creating a program to just go back to these students, talk to them 3 or 4 times a year, and make sure that they own what the fuck they need to be on with all this great technology that we have now. Because, like, it's nothing to go buy a whole fucking what do you call it? It's nothing to go buy a whole pallet of motherfucking old Dell laptops or tablets and all this shit, dude. Like, that shit's cheap as fuck to go get. If
So
you can get
like,
those things,
how will it work for like let's say somebody want to start a nonprofit for kids to like learn code and all that or like UX design? How would that work?
you would have to create your nonprofit through the actual federal government. You have to prove that you have the background of what you're actually doing, or somebody who can put together a competent program for what you're actually doing. And I would start in a blue state, in a blue area where they care about educational outcomes. I wouldn't just start in the Mississippi Delta or like Louisiana or Alabama or Georgia, rural Georgia, Arkansas. You know, it's better to start in a more homogenous area, like
Hmm.
like an over 90% white type area. So that way the perception is you're not just trying to help black people with it. And then like once you get that shit up, and yeah, because that's how you get the shit funded. To be quite honest with you. But yeah, but then after that, that's when you have the track record of providing results, and then you go off into these hard hit areas that they can actually use the actual outcome.
So if you were to go into a black area, that how they will perceive you.
Not first. You don't go in the black area first. You get your actual funding and shit first in the other areas before you go to a black area.
But that's not very pro black, isn't it?
No, I mean, it would be eventually, but see, they trying to do shit black first when we don't have a black first government. Government
Mm.
give a fuck about changing statistics and spending less money. They don't give a fuck about changing statistics and spending less money on black people. They don't give a fuck about that. They don't care about that. But for as much help that you can help these people with, you can easily hide that behind line items within the actual budget itself. Nonprofits do it all the time, especially the ones that care about well, not economic, but educational outcome for boys. That come up with a girls program and then just get all the shit, give all the same shit to the boys too, without even saying that that's what they own, which is what most of these women-based programs actually do. Counter to what the manosphere actually talks about, this is what actual those programs do. They get the money for the women and then they spend it on both people. That's what they actually do.
Mm. Okay, I'm gonna have to definitely do my research on the actual process for nonprofit organization because I always thought like those people were doing it for like and like not actually getting paid from it. Like I actually thought it was like a nonprofit organization,
No.
taking it in a literal sense.
No, it's, I mean, there's a right way to do it, there's a wrong way to do it. United Way, Boys and Girls Club, the Red Cross, they're also nonprofit organizations. But the motherfuckers who work for them get paid hella money while they're doing this so-called nonprofit work. Homelessness is probably the most lucrative fucking market in the United States to get into. Why? Millions of dollars goes to them. You think all that shit is just going toward homeless people? You're out of your fucking mind. That shit is going to yachts and boats and other people's real estate projects and all this shit. And most of it never even touches the actual people itself.
Yeah, I think I remember you had a conversation with a game changer, and you guys were talking about how like one nonprofit will buy the house and another will sell it. I
Yes.
don't know
Yeah.
exactly the name of that process. Can you
Yeah, it's called money laundering, but a legal way of doing it. Yeah, it's kind of like how you, okay, so I'm going to donate some money to your organization. You're going to donate money to this organization, and they're going to donate this money to the other organization, and then the money automatically come back to you. It's still money laundering, but at the end of the day, you're just donating to other people, and they're just donating back to you. That's all it is.
and that's off the government. That's from the money from like the government contract.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's wild.
yeah.
I
It's
find
still
that
the
crazy
same
that
thing.
even legal. So is that still possible to do?
Yeah, it is. But you gotta have a proven method and track record and things that works. But these dudes, once they get the money, they just want to stunt and try to get more bitches pregnant with it. This is why you kind of leave niggas the fuck out of any of these type of circumstances. It's never gonna work because once
Yeah,
the money
man.
come in, the treachery is gonna go through the fucking roof.
Hmm.
So that's what you got. So
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for 2023, man. We moving in a whole different new direction, man. Hopefully, the people over here, we already on this tip, but like you said, you already know where this manifest shit going for everybody else, man.
no, I mean it's a put up or shut up time. Like you just can't keep having the relationship conversation when you have to put some laws on the books. I mean, Pearly Things ain't fucking trying to correct the actual decision making process of her fucking gender that cannot turn those boys into her future fucking audience. She don't have a mechanism to do that. It's just like Jordan Peterson don't have a mechanism of trying to fix things within the government so that way the broken boys don't become his actual eventual audience members and
Or
donators and shit later on
customers.
in life. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like these people are not trying to get rid of their customer base. Are you fucking high? Why the fuck would they
Yeah.
get rid of their customer base? Especially when they could just sit here in the middle and fucking just pretend like they fucking helping you when they not actually give you any tools to do shit. Yeah, like dude, that's not how that works. It's like, okay, let's say you've been in the manosphere for 7 years. Let's say
Mhm.
you've been here off of diesel systems and BGS for women and all this shit. But yet, you have not created a goddamn fucking thing when it comes to actually getting people to better fucking women. The only thing you can do is make sure that the women who shouldn't be chosen in the first place end up getting married in the worst case. The men don't win from that actual system. That's what I'm saying. The whole thing is a reach around of fucking epic fucking proportions to keep recreating the same situations over and over and over again. There's literally no end to it. No end to it.
Yeah, it's no end to it, like you said, man. Like That's what I'm saying. Like, especially like with the younger generation, like the space that I'm in, man. Like, bro, it's just so many people out here traveling, moving around, making
And they
changes,
never
shaking
have.
shit up.
And they never had. They never had because everything was based on this was being your only experience. What happens when the kids start traveling around, meet different people, have access to better information than what you're trying to socialize them into? They start to ask some motherfucking questions about, wait a minute, how long have you been here and why have you been here? Like, then it started to not make sense. Like, okay, so what's the use of having PhDs around here, not really being politically organized or having a side pick, and the only thing that they're doing is just talking about rah rah masculinity? What's the fucking point in doing that? Oh, it's to keep reperpetuating the same circumstances over and over again, so that way there will never be any progress, and then turn around and blame the woman for it. The woman can't socialize you out of the productivity piece. That's some shit
Hmm.
you chose. You chose not to be productive. You chose to wait for her to fucking put her power down and give you access to her infinite choice and just give it over to you like some pimp hoe relationship shit. Get the fuck out of here, man. Like, bro, like most of the shit is your motherfucking fault and your motherfucking issue yourself. The woman can't make you do that. A woman can't make you impregnate her and try to force some black family onto her that she's never been socialized into. Also, not her fucking fault. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, bro, there is no rationale for these dudes to be failing unless you want the redemption story arc to be part of your actual track record and process. That's the only reason why you want to be here.
Yeah, that's why I understand. Like from your standpoint, is like you not trying to fight on their behalf to actually get rid of child support and
No,
all the shit that come with just being like you say, a sexual scavenger.
fuck no. Like what they want to do is be opportunistic sexual scavengers and face no consequences for it. Like they want to privatize the gains, which is the pussy, and socialize the losses, which is the fucking child support shit. That's all it is. It's not really that hard to fucking get. It's not hard.
Yeah,
It's
man.
really not that fucking difficult.
Yeah, it's simple, man. Real simple, bro.
But they don't want to change. Like all of it is based on there's an established system. Once you point out the pattern and you see people not progressing, it's easy to move past them. Once you see the pattern, see people they haven't put two to two together because they don't know that this is all a coordinated effort to socialize failure. They don't know that this all shit is connected. And I'm not talking about conspiracy theories. I'm talking about conspiracy, singular. They don't want to be shit. They don't want to go out here and fight for their own shit. It's everybody else's responsibility to put in on their shit. And so they just come after the left because that's where the actual movement is. And it always
Mm.
have been over the past fucking 150 fucking years. So they attack the left because we haven't got them the fucking results fast enough that they fucking, man, get the fuck out of here. Go organize on the right and go actually be over there. If that's
But
where you want to be.
I think people do that unknowingly though. Since it's like you don't know what you don't know at that point, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you already been socialized in that. So I don't think that they know that they're actually doing that
Correct.
until
But
brought
I
to
think,
their attention.
yeah, but it becomes purposeful once you tell them this is actually what they're doing. But see, that's the difference between a person who has rational thought and they can change, and then there's a person who become radicalized and they can't change. Most of these people have been fucking radicalized. Like you can't reason with a closed mind. A
Hmm.
person who doesn't want to update their actual level of information. You can't reason with nobody like that. They have bought into a specific set point and point of view, and they're going to keep pounding that point of view until they get results. You're dealing with radicalized people here. You're not dealing with rational adults that you can actually fucking talk to. You're talking to radicalized, crazy ass motherfuckers who are unwilling to see or even discuss the actual potential of them being wrong. That's why I'm like, look, the links they drop. You want to jump your ass up here? Jump up here. Jump up here and let's have a rational discussion. But see, outside of the talking points, and after you run them out of their talking points, now they have to go off the reason and common sense and actual history. They can't fucking do that. They could just load up their actual gun with as much ammunition as possible. And once they shoot that shit and I fucking dodge, they're fucked because they're not going to be able to reload that shit faster than me being able to fucking unload on them. That's all it is. It's really fucking simple.
Yeah, man. I think that actually plays out in like a lot of dynamics. Like you bring up like politics or like the manosphere, how shit works, PhDs. Like I think it ties into a lot of shit.
Yeah, but you have to understand this whole idea was to keep the productive man out of the fucking conversation. The whole thing was to make sure the productive man never got to lead anything. That's why the productive people came in here first. You needed to have some type of substance to talk. Them people got up out of here. The other people took over. Next thing you know, pimps and dating coaches and entertainment fucking came to focus. And then all of a sudden, they're like, oh, okay, we're just going to kick all the fucking people of substance out. Who's going to fucking challenge us? And they'll just run the shit from the fucking backside. And most people think that, yeah, that's a good thing. Like, no, it's not a good thing. The circumstances are the fucking same. The
Mm.
circumstances are the same.
Yeah, I think I came at like the tail end of 1.0, and like you said, those people are no longer here.
Yeah. Why would they be here? The way this shit turned out, the way you see their actual point of view was twisted into the shit that it became now. Why the fuck would you be here? If you built some shit, you risked your entire life building some shit, and you seen that people wanted to hand all the eyeballs to Miss Pearly things. Why the fuck would you be here if you was 1.0? You've been here 12 years ago, and these people wanted to hear the same thing from a basic fucking bitch. And what the fuck were you doing wasting your time for 12 years? If they just wanted to listen to the same shit from somebody else and make no progress. They wanted to hide their actual particular lack of progress around people who are just starting the conversation, trying to pretend like they're new to it. That's the thing
Mm.
that happens within this space. Is they want to hear the same conversation over and over again. So they go to somebody else who's restarting the conversation from their point of non-progression. That's what they're doing. It's really not that hard to see.
Yeah, it's just like a new face that pop up like every other month around here, man. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, man, like when I first came here, it wasn't really, it wasn't really like this. I wouldn't really say that it was just starting off, but like just seeing how it's going right now, man, it's just really less, like really sad for the most part. Like me
Yeah,
personally,
but
I
you
don't
just
think I could talk about women that much. I do be in these spaces, but at the same time, like when I die, I don't want people to go on my page and then just see like just me talking about women and all this other shit. It's gonna be about something more important than that. Just me personally.
but you can absolutely talk about women that much if you don't have any access to them. You can literally talk about shit that you don't have access to as much as you want to. Don't pro blacks talk about how women don't act right and how people not take care of these women? Like the actual circumstances re-perpetuate the shit that they actually talk about and again and again and again. Only thing you have to do is see what the fuck they talk about and what's the rationality of them actually moving on to an actual solution. Then you see that they can move on to a solution. They want a solution another way. Like, okay, let's do this on some Xbox rare achievement shit. Fuck this dude. This dude is gonna be here forever because
That's
they're
what I'm saying,
unwilling to
man.
move
Like,
on to an actual solution.
yeah, exactly. Like, if you've been here for more than 7 to 4 years, man, and you still on this shit, it's just on you at that point, man. Like, it's just time to steer the conversation to somewhere else and shit. You know what I'm saying? Actually talk about some shit that actually tangible, bro. You know?
But you have to realize, dude, you let the conversation, you just change the conversation, and the people who can't participate will disappear. That's the thing. A lot of people think that they're just going to be talking this shit forever. I'm like, bro, listen, you move the level of the conversation from bitches to actual resource production by your own hands. Yeah, man, Negro kryptonite. It's three types of it. Once you start talking about hard work, hard work, or motherfucking sacrifice, niggas don't want to hear that shit. They want to hear how they gonna get this shit for free. How this woman just gonna turn over on downs, like she's just gonna punt on 1st and 1 at the fucking goal line. These women ain't doing that shit. They're gonna take every piece and slice of dick and attention that they can possibly fucking get and smile in your fucking face like they don't have access to that. Cause I'm telling you, if the shoe was on the other fucking foot, these niggas would do the same thing these women were doing. Same motherfucking
Exactly.
thing. There's no way they wouldn't do the same thing. They wouldn't give up this power on some altruistic trying to save the community shit, man. These niggas wouldn't do that. They would never fucking do that. And these women know that too. They're not stupid. It's never going to go back to the way it is unless you select people who are at the way it was. That's what I did.
Exactly.
You really think that I'm just gonna try to sit here on some frog kissing expedition trying to find a motherfucking reasonable Keisha nigga? You out of your fucking mind. I'm gonna go to the fucking manufacturing facility where they got this culture shit at, and I'm gonna shop there. Fuck out of here.
Plain and simple.
but, but these dudes, they don't want to do that. They caught up in thinking that they about to save these women, man. Fuck that.
Nah, man,
Yeah, BMT, what's
especially if
going on, man?
she been in this space for like 4 to 7 years and she's still on these basic ass talking points, man. It's
Man,
just
listen.
sad to me, man. It's just
Man, listen.
sad.
These women have been gamed up in a very specific format that they probably taken 10 times more dick to the fucking dome than they probably ever could. They know that these niggas are never gonna get it for the most part. Even if they didn't know that shit before, just listening to these dumb motherfuckers and how they can't find the ass with both of their fucking hands have empowered these fucking women. They're not fucking stupid. They know they could pick a motherfucker and get the fuck off the field. I mean, shit, look at
True.
the fucking Me Too woman. She looked like motherfucking a split between Barney and motherfucking KRS-One, and she got a ring. Fuck out of here, man.
Exactly,
These people can
man.
get out of here if they want to. That's why I
That
don't even bother motherfucking addressing it.
I feel the same way, man. Especially like the if she better looking, man. Like ain't no
Oh God.
excuses. I really don't want to hear that shit.
No, no, if she
Like
on
these
some
niggas
Melanie
will turn
Kane shit, yeah,
around and
yeah,
make
man.
a deal any day. I'm telling you.
But they want to make a deal because they too far invested into a bad system. They want to make the time that they wasted count. And you cannot fucking deal with people who want to make the time that they wasted count. Rather than do the real shit I need to do, I'm just gonna hide behind this person and 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 hide behind this person. I'm gonna make my fucking failure count. But they're just sitting here taking the money and getting the fuck up out of here. When these people looking for one fucking reason to go back and listen to these bitches be bitched at, they took it. They took it. Every time there's another person selling this fucking bullshit, they go back. At some point, it's not the person who would build a fucking liquor store in front of the goddamn AA facility. It's the people who went to the fucking cash register and cashed them out some fucking beer before they went to the goddamn AA facility in the back. Those people are the fucking problem, not the fact that there are different options there. It's just a stress test to see if these people actually got the shit that what the fuck they was talking about. They didn't get it. They didn't care to get it.
Yeah, I think like when you talk about like the black church and you saying that what happened here is almost like what happened to the black church. It's crazy to think about it because I would have never have thought like this is actually how it played out.
Yes, it's the same. It's the same process. You have something that's tangible. Fuck niggas come take over. Everybody thinks about eyeballs and money. The people who started the shit get kicked the fuck out. Everybody goes off some popularity shit from that time being going forward. Happens every fucking time, same situation. But the only thing they can't socialize out is individual results and outliers. I'm trying to create more outliers. I'm not trying to create more people that's going to be in the crowd. Only thing you have to do is pull up these people's shit, look at their motherfucking timeline, look at their fucking community tab. They're still talking about single mothers and bringing bitches back to the table, or else trying to nigga explain SYSBM and fucking passport bros to hoes that don't give a fuck about that shit because they got infinite loads of fucking dick. Like, dude, it don't matter. If you're
Mhm.
unwilling to move to actual options and solutions, you're the fucking problem, not her. She moved to a solution called fuck these motherfuckers. I want access and control over this motherfucking household. Even if I have to claim that fucking dudes with low quality fucking DNA is going to give them the exact result that they fucking wanted. It's
Exactly.
not hard. You have the same choice that they do. You want to remake the fucking family unit? You get to do the same motherfucking thing that they did. You just choose different people. They chose different people. They got a different motherfucking outcome, an outcome that they can't fucking live with. You can do the same thing. The same thing. It's really not that hard. but people don't want to give up the time that they wasted thirsting over this fucking circumstance. That's on them. You can't help them. You can move forward though.
Yeah, you certainly can move forward, man. And you will actually think somebody will have a setup like fresh and fit, but actually have some decent women on there that actually want to actually talk about families, actually
That's not the
growing up
business
these
model.
kids.
It's not the
But
business model.
it's not.
It's not the business model. The business model is rah rah. I'm gonna talk shit. Okay, I'm going to invite women on who ain't shit, and then I'm gonna tell them that they ain't shit to their face.
Like we
What's
ain't
going
know
on?
that shit. Like
Of course, and it's like they're giving women more and more power through socialization. Like this dude is not invited to the Arab world. He's not invited to Israel. He's not invited to places that fucking work without this hoe ass shit. Asking them to come fuck they shit up. Everybody else see what the fuck is going on, except for the dudes who don't have any experience.
mhm.
Even with the women that they claim they want to be with, they ain't got no experience.
Man, all these motherfuckers got the same problem, man. And like we said about Andrew
Just
Tate,
saying.
man, like it just take one situation, man, and like
One,
just one,
one,
bro.
one woman that you made 7 or 8 years ago before you got money or your fucking act together can say that, yeah, he flew me from here to here and I couldn't leave the house, therefore I was traffic. Boom, you're going to prison over that shit. If they're trying to get you, because trust
Hmm.
me, they doctor shop. Just like people who on oxycodone and all this shit go to a bunch of different doctors before they find a fucking provider that gets them what the fuck
Hmm.
they want. These women do the same motherfucking thing. Prosecutors do the same motherfucking thing, right? They find a person, they interview them, like, nah, your stories ain't good. It's a good story, but not good enough for what we're trying to do. And then all of a sudden they get somebody who checks all the boxes that they could easily put a motherfucking prison over, and then they bring them in and they run the fucking system on their motherfucking ass. This shit ain't hard, man, bro. You're not about to get away with fucking doing shit to these women now. You better
You
get the
not,
fuck out
bro.
while you can. And even if you do get out, you better not have no eyeballs on nobody. Because the moment your ass come famous, a woman that you had access to is gonna think that that shit should have been mine, that other women are fucking experiencing, and boom, they gonna fucking bring your ass up on charges. And if you think you could beat that type of system, then you go right a motherfucking head.
Exactly, man. You gotta move smart out here, man. You can't just be with any of your body, man. That's why, like I said, I told my coworkers that shit, man. Like, you gotta be very careful of the woman that you talk to, man, because they have no problem taking your ass to HR and getting your ass up out of here, man. You feel me?
Not even HR, dude. We're talking about to the government, where they have a guaranteed fucking attorney that's going to say everything that they said and believe them beyond reasonable doubt. And now you have to protect yourself in front of 10 or 12 motherfuckers that you don't know. And in that country, I don't even know if it's even a jury system. That shit could be a court martial where you're going walking into guaranteed consequences. That's what
Mm.
I'm saying. Bro, you don't have the same rights that you have anywhere else. You don't. You do not. Dude, but moving smarter is something that is an individual responsibility. You cannot be undisciplined and expecting out of pocket women to fucking protect you. Fuck out of
Nah,
here.
they would
They're
rather
supposed to
just
run
the
your
law
ass to the fucking
change.
ground.
Yeah, they rather just the laws to change so they don't gotta face consequences, shit like that,
That's what
man.
I'm saying. Or else, I mean, everything is about not participating, but wanting somebody else to do all the work for you and on some pimp hole relationship shit. That's what it is. You know what? I'm just gonna face these consequences, and you niggas go out there and go fight for me. Fuck out of here. We could just leave your women alone and not listen to anything that you fucking say and still have the best results possible by just picking from another group of people.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like that what I like. That's why you bring up the point. Like me personally, I'm done with that conversation, man. Cause like I said, you can't be here and not know the talking points. You feel me? You just, like you said, it's just a circular conversation at that point.
Yeah, I mean, but a lot of people here are for what's the term? Damn, what's the term? Fucking a confirmation bias. Yeah, that's what they're here to do. They want to,
Mhm.
okay, system bad, system fucked up. Okay, I'm gonna listen to this person tell me that the system's fucked up. I'm not gonna make different decisions. I'm gonna face the same fucking consequences, and then I'm gonna turn around and complain about the bitch, and I'm gonna put it on her because she's so fucking disloyal. Not that you can't control your dick, not that you can't fucking save your money and go somewhere the fuck else. You did nearly decided to do it through her. Like, I'm gonna dare her to fuck me over because I'm gonna put her ass in her fucking place once she does so. This shit makes no fucking sense whatsoever. She should run your ass up the flagpole every motherfucking time. And I don't give a fucking I don't give a damn when they do it. Bro, 2022 minted some newly minted child support niggas like they didn't know fucking know better. Still blaming the bitch. Fuck out of here. So,
Yeah,
nah,
exactly.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we gonna hold you accountable to that, man. You feel me?
you gotta protect your ears from these dumbass niggas, man. You have to protect your ears and you have to build a socialization. And whenever they're going down that fucking time period of fucking telling you about the shit, they just turn around and you're like, all right, man, I'm out of here, man. I gotta roll out. Like, what? You gotta go? Like, yeah, man. No, we're talking about bitches again, man. And I ain't got time for that. But if you want to talk about something else other than bitches, I'll listen. If
Nah,
it's
but they
bitch
gonna look
related,
at you out a certain way, man. Because when I bring up to points where like, yo, having a space where men can actually talk and about what's going on and how we feel about certain things, they'll look at that and be like, yo, why ain't the women around? But when it's wartime, like, yo, when it's come time for men to actually come together and talk about certain things, there should be actual place for that. You feel me? Like
no,
I never seen anything wrong with that.
no, sir. It's gonna be like an Art New Style panel and letting Edward Anderson up there or motherfucking Judge Dre. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas just gonna drag the shit back toward some bullshit with fucking women, or Judge Dre's gonna talk about his motherfucking child support issues and how it keeps going up every 5 seconds. You already
Exactly.
know that shit when you invite them niggas up there, but you invite them niggas up there anyway because you don't give a fuck. And you want the conversation to go left, man. But that's where we at though. Dude, you can set a watch to this shit, man. Bro, you can set a watch to it. Don't even don't even respect your audience enough to allow these niggas to be confident enough on issues and just invite their dumb ass up there anyway. Just let them start running off at the fucking mouth, man.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy, man.
But I'm the bad guy because I'm bringing it up because I'm just not letting niggas do them. Like, bro, at some point, doing you is affecting everybody else to include you.
Yeah, but like you said, man, motherfucker just call your ass a hater on some bullshit, man. Like, no, they didn't actually critique what you said, and they just call you a hater, bro. And to be real, true, that for the most part, that's a lot of people that I came across in this space, man. Especially when you bring up some real tangible shit.
But they can't do anything about it because it's kind of like Groundhog Day, or you know that this shit is about to happen in a certain period of time every fucking day, and they just do it anyway. You expect shit to change, but they just do it anyway. They just do it anyway. Everything is about matriarchies, gynocracies, and complaining about bitches that you can leave the fuck alone. Women are inanimate objects. They only become powerful when you start fucking with them. They still haven't got it. They decided that they're gonna go dick first into the fucking matriarchy and gynocracy, knowing goddamn well that's what they're empowered by, and then claim like they don't understand about how this bitch got control of his fucking life. Man, fuck that dude. Leave his ass out there, man. Fuck that nigga.
For real, man. Fuck that nigga.
All right, man. I gotta roll out, man. So you got anything else before you get up out of here?
Oh no, man, it was good chopping it up with you, man. And happy New Year's.
Oh, same to you, man. And for everybody else, man. All Street Dudes is not on this reliving high school shit, man. This reliving high school shit is some dumbass shit that any dumb motherfucker can do. It doesn't take a lot of intelligence to try to pass yourself off as another person, especially when you can't verify any of the shit that this motherfucker's doing. We know these street motherfuckers ain't out here knocking it out of the park. Some of these synthetic street niggas are. But at the end of the day, you can move on without any of this shit mattering or counting. So with that said, I want to thank you for coming through. I'm the man tomorrow. You guys have a really nice rest of y'all New Year's Day. Peace.